Let's get on with the party.
Mark D'Antonio, a man of few words and long, life-sucking, and championship-winning drives. The Spartans are on to the college football playoffs, and you are on with us in the Suburban 4-7 Sports Cave. I am Brad Galli, Mike Stone from 97.1 The Ticket, Mike Rothstein from ESPN. Joining me on the couch today, guys. What a drive for the Spartans last night. What a game for them. Connor Cook banged up, and all they do is go out and clinch a spot in the playoffs.
I mean, they knew what they had to do. He couldn't throw the ball very well, and they just pounded it in that offensive line. That was amazing. Not the most exciting way to do it, but it was just will against will, and Michigan State had more will.
Well, I mean, also L.J. Scott was having a great game. Every time they needed a big play, they went to L.J. Scott, and that was a huge factor for why Michigan State won. The play call that I was most impressed with was that option.
Oh, absolutely.
That was a brilliant play call. It really was.
It was like a Price on a rollout or a handoff to Scott, and
Yeah.
Connor Cook runs the option.
Right. Well, you know what? He didn't think he could throw the ball. I mean, D'Antonio did not want to take a chance on putting the ball up in the air. That, you know, in that situation, you know, he had to when they played at Burbridge, but other than that, it was just Pound Town.
They've been running back by committee all year long with good running backs, but
Yes.
no one has really emerged. Scott had a few games in there that, to me, stuck out the most. But
And then Holmes recently was the best running, and London actually gave them some good carries early in that football game
that they needed.
Absolutely.
I mean, but LJ, even if you go back, I think it was in like the maybe late third quarter, early fourth quarter, when they were down, they needed a gain, and they gave it to L.J. Scott, and he got it by a yard. And the thing with L.J. Scott was that it was always the extra effort. You
Yes.
saw it on the touchdown. It was the second effort, the third effort, and that to me stuck out. It's actually why I was pretty surprised he didn't win Most Outstanding Player, and they gave it to Cook, because without L.J. Scott, we're sitting here today talking about how Michigan State couldn't score at all. Why didn't they maybe go to Tyler O'Connor when it was obvious that Connor Cook couldn't throw the ball? And, I was undefeated still going to the playoffs, and Kirk Ferentz, I believe he's from Michigan, is, happy little guy.
Right, exactly.
All right, well, let's go to Indianapolis. Justin Rose was there, is still waking up with the Spartans and the jubilation there. Let's hear from Mark D'Antonio, Connor Cook, and the guys.
For the first time this season, the gut check had to be very real, especially down the stretch when the ball was handed off to a young freshman who made a very big name for himself on the biggest stage.
No, we knew it was a big play. Every play was a big play. I just tried to come through for my brothers. I would like to give all my credit to the linemen, for helping me get in the end zone. We knew we had it. We just had to stay focused, and everything will fall in place. We worked hard all year for it.
We're Spartans strong. Spartans will persevere, and honestly, it just proves that this team, no matter how bad things look, we're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep pushing, and we're going to scratch our way to a victory.
For the last drive to have that many plays and eat up that much clock, and just to do it the way we did. I mean, we ran it 21 times out of 22 plays, so it's crazy.
Mark D'Antonio's plan was a step-by-step process, one game at a time, one goal at a time. The first one, Big Ten champions. Now the college football playoff awaits. Who they'll get, not sure yet, but they'll be ready in a couple of weeks on New Year's Eve.
Justin, thanks. Mark D'Antonio, no Big Ten coach has ever had more 11-win seasons than he's had. 3 Big Ten championships now, 2 in the Big Ten championship game. He is the top coach in America? He's in the top what?
He's in the top 5, top 3.
Top 3.
Right? What do you think? I mean, look, they have been in the top 5 of the country no matter what happens in the playoff, right, 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
How many teams can say that? You got Saban, Urban Meyer, and D'Antonio. Who else would you put in that? Les Miles? No.
I know we're talking about this a little bit before the show. I would argue Les Miles you can put in there because he's never lost, more than 3 games in a season his entire time at LSU. And the SEC, let's face it, the SEC, through the majority of Les Miles' time there, has been a more difficult conference than the Big Ten. So I would put him maybe above Mark D'Antonio as well. But other than that, I mean, I would agree. Top 5
Absolutely.
is probably where he's
locked
sitting.
in the top 5 now, right?
And here's the other reason. You look at the programs. Well, Saban took over a team that was kind of in disarray, so I'll give him. But Urban Meyer, they 1 year after Tressel. But with D'Antonio, look what Michigan State was before D'Antonio.
Nowhere near where they are.
The John L. Smith clown show, and you had Bobby Williams before that. He's taken a program that was basically stagnant, 1 good year, 3 bad years, and all that kind of stuff, and nobody gave the respect to a national power. They are a power.
No doubt.
I would agree.
Consistent power.
Yeah.
Well, consistent. Let's see. I mean, it's been a building
4 or 5
process.
years of excellence.
Right. Yeah, but it's been a building process over 9 years, and that was a very impressive thing because, as you said, it came from a John L. Smith era where I was covering Michigan and Notre Dame before I started covering the Lions, and they played them every year, and every year it was kind of like if Michigan State beat Notre Dame or Michigan, you're like, whoa, wait, what's going on? And then they get off this hot start and then collapse. And that was what happened every year under John L. Smith. So the fact that he built this up is very, very impressive.
And he's doing it. You know, you're going to have better recruits coming in the ER if you believe in the whole star system with recruiting. But what he's done with, 3 stars, 2 stars, and a couple 4 stars, now the recruiting class is going to keep getting better and better. Who knows?
Watching that game, even watching the Nebraska game, which they ultimately lost, but watching every game of theirs this season and in the past few years, there's that tick in the back of your head that just says, it's a Mark D'Antonio team. They're going to find a way to win.
Yes.
And they do. And the way they beat Iowa last night, I mean, Stoney, you said it right off the top. It wasn't the most exciting victory, but they did what they do. They just win.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people sitting there say, oh, are they lucky and all that. You know what? Good teams, great teams, make luck. Look, they were fortunate in the Michigan game.
No doubt.
No, they were unfortunate in the Nebraska game. The interception here, if it doesn't hit, I thought the ball when I first saw it hit the ground, it hit Riley Buller's back. I mean, yeah, but they make plays. Good teams find ways to win, and they are a really good team, and they've been that way for basically 4 of the last 5 years. They had the one slip in 2012.
I would say, though, Mark D'Antonio is maybe the gutsiest coach in the country. It didn't maybe come across last night because there wasn't necessarily the need for it. Although,
except that play, maybe.
Yes, except for the option play. And honestly, sticking with Connor Cook, even though he's your guy, is gutsy when you know he's clearly not healthy. But go back to all of those big wins beforehand. The Little Giants play a few years ago. Even against Michigan, when you're deciding to rush 11 versus having one guy back there just a fair catch and give you a shot at a Hail Mary or a lateral play or something like that, of which obviously everybody in Michigan saw can work based off of Thursday night. But you look at it, and the fact that he was just like, we're going to send 11 and this is what's going to happen, that to me is our gutsy play calls and knowing where your team is and knowing their mindset and knowing what they believe in and that they believe in you, and that I think is the biggest thing, and that's maybe where he is better than any coach in the country.
He's established himself. I think we can all agree on that. Everyone out there can agree on it. Connor Cook has established himself not in a sneaky way because people have known he's got an NFL arm, he has NFL size, he has NFL accuracy. An interesting conversation last night. I threw out a poll on Twitter. Is Connor Cook's number worth being retired by the Spartans? Because he's been the Big Ten Championship MVP twice, a Rose Bowl MVP. I mean, last night he probably shouldn't have been the MVP, but he was. And he's the all-time winningest quarterback in Michigan State history.
Well, the last player to have his number retired, I believe, is Percy Snow.
Yeah.
Or at least, the latest player in their history. You had Bubba Smith, George Webster, and I think John Hannon, not the one who played for the Patriots.
6 total players.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, that position is so demanding, and what he's done, retire that number. Why not?
I'm not a big retire the number person on the college level at all, just because, at least for football, let me specify for football, at least for football, there's so many guys that you need to field the roster with every year.
Yeah, but they have they have guys who have double number. You have guys 15 on offense, 15 on defense.
But at the same time, I'm just not a big retiring the number person because I just don't believe in it in college. I think you do it in the pros. I think you do it in high school. Every high school does it. But in college, I just don't see it.
If this is the most successful era in Michigan State football history, isn't he the face? Isn't he the guy? Especially if they go on and get at least a win in this playoff?
Player-wise, yes, but D'Antonio's the face.
Yeah.
No doubt. But if you have to look to a player in the rafters when you go to a game 15, 20 years from now.
Yes, because of the quarterback, but you could argue Shalik Calhoun. I mean, he's been.
Probably both could go up there.
Yeah.
3-time first-team All-Big Ten guy.
And honestly, I think if anything maybe has come out of this is that Mark D'Antonio is getting a statue somewhere in East Lansing when he's done.
That's the safest bet, no doubt.
That I feel pretty comfortable with. They'll probably right outside Spartan Stadium, along with those plaques that they have of all their Big Ten championship teams. Yeah. I think that you'll see a Mark D'Antonio statue at some point.
By the way, it's pretty good to be a Spartan right now because you're going to be in a playoff, and the basketball team is going to be #1 ranked team in the country.
The basketball
probably.
team is phenomenal.
They're fantastic.
Really
Denzel
good
Valentine's is awesome.
All right, an uncomfortable moment last night, a very weird moment. When Connor Cook accepted the MVP trophy, blew right by Archie Griffin. Everybody saw it, and if you didn't, it was very weird. Here he is coming to get the trophy. Thanks, I'll take that. Very strange. So Twitter blows up. It's trending. Deadspin sends out the video. Mike, you say it's the evils of social media.
Yes, it is the evils of social media.
But here's Connor's rebuttal, and once he found out what he did and saw what he did, take a listen.
I'm not a disrespectful guy. You know, I would never by any means disrespect anyone, especially a man like Archie Griffin. It was me caught up in the moment, you know, trying to celebrate with my teammates, and the way I'd grabbed the trophy looked very disrespectful, and I would never want to do that. So my apologies goes to Archie Griffin, and, you know, I really didn't make it out to be like that. I would never want to be put in a situation like this. You know, you think you check Twitter, and, you know, people would be congratulating you, and there was all these people talking smack, and then you see the video, and I was like, wow, that does look really bad. So, you know, Archie, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. You know, would never want to do anything like that. You know, I respect the heck out of you. You're a great football player, but yeah, so my apologies goes out to him.
I don't know what people really expected Connor Cook to do. Like we were talking about before, he was playing hurt. We don't know how much pain he was maybe in.
Okay.
He's in the euphoria of just winning the Big Ten title.
Yeah, maybe should have shaken his hand.
Yeah.
Look, Connor Cook is from Ohio. He knows who Archie Griffin is.
I'm not saying he doesn't know who he is.
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I don't think he did anything malicious. It was just, you know, please. People look for so many things to criticize people on social media. It's amazing.
It was late. Maybe people had a couple glasses of Kool-Aid last night. But even then,
Right.
it was strange. I first saw it, I'm like, did that just happen, really?
I don't know.
That's the thing is that, he shook the other guy's hand, didn't he? Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
And who's to say they didn't have a conversation for 5 minutes before they were on the stage?
Whatever.
Hey, you're going to
I
win
mean-
the MVP. They won the Big Ten championship.
It seems
he
like
was the
outrage
quarterback playing through pain.
It seems like outrage for outrageous sake, which
Exactly.
happens way too often these days. But
Yes.
you look at it, and I mean, listen, he raised the trophy up. He was happy. Then he talked to a whole bunch of people, and that's really all you should expect. Not everybody has to be like super nice guy all the time.
And when it comes down to it, what do you want out of your quarterback? You want wins.
Yeah.
He's provided the most in Michigan State history. All right, so the next up for them, they're trying to get 2 more.
Right.
First up, how's the playoff going to shake out? I think everyone assumes or expects them to jump up to number 3 and pass Oklahoma.
Yeah, because the committee doesn't like the fact that Oklahoma didn't have to play at a championship game. So I would expect it to be Clemson, Alabama, Michigan State, and Oklahoma. That's what I think it's going to
Yeah,
be.
I mean,
But who knows? So if that's what it is,
Right.
you have the Alabama-Michigan State semifinal.
Nick Saban. How do they match up against
I
him,
think they
Mike?
match up against it pretty well because Alabama doesn't throw the ball that much. And the weakness of Michigan State's defense is their secondary. Michigan State can stop the run, although Derrick Henry's a great player. I think I'd really
like to see Shalik Calhoun against that Alabama offensive line.
Yeah.
Clemson.
See if they try to run. Yeah, see if they try to run away from. See if they try to run Derrick Henry away from Shalik Calhoun. Because listen, Derrick Henry loves contact. I mean, you saw that in the game last night. There were a couple times where it looked like he could try to evade a guy.
On a good Florida defense.
Yeah, on a decent to good Florida defense. And he ran right into them instead, and he bowled them over. I want to see what happens if Shalik Calhoun and Derrick Henry meet up, because that could be really, really interesting to see what happens.
We'll have 3 weeks to expect, talk, break it all down, listen to Nick Saban, Mark D'Antonio talk about it both. Congratulations to the Spartans. And coming up next, we're going to talk Lions. Oh boy, that Hail Mary play. Unbelievable. Send your tweets, send your comments on Twitter. Use the hashtag 7SportsCave. We're back in a minute.